everyone, it's Wendy. Welcome. I am excited you're here today. I'm going to use the kind of eclectic stamp set to start off this card, and I'm going to be stamping a big sunshine right at the top of this card to get it started. This card was a major work in progress, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later, but I kind of didn't know what I was going to do until I just started doing it. So you'll see what I'm talking about here. I'm just slipping a piece of paper behind my MISTI there to kind of protect the back because I'm going to stamp off the edge with this. I'm not going to stamp the entire image on the paper. So I needed a little bit of backing paper there. And right here, what I'm doing is I realized I didn't get the MISTI stuck, the stamp stuck all the way to the MISTI, so I had to fix that. Then I'm just going to stamp my sunshine, and I just love this sunshine. It's probably my favorite one in all of the Stampin' Up! Stamp sets. And again, this is the kind of eclectic stamp set. And so now I'm going to take this piece out, and I wanted to also note, this is an odd size card. This is not your regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. This card is going to be 4 inches by 6 1/4. And the reason for that is because I'm using the cute little slug bug. I call them slug bugs, the Volkswagen bug from the Beautiful Ride stamp set that's in the Occasions catalog. And I knew that I wanted it to be longer, so it looked like the car was like driving down the road. So I'm drawing in a road because I don't have a stamp set that has a road. So I'm just quickly drawing one in with pencil to kind of get an idea of like where I want the road to be. And then I'm using Pool Party ink to sponge in my sky. Now, if I had to do this again, I would use a different color for the sky. This came out way more green and moody than I wanted. But I was committed, and I had tried this card 100 times, 100 different ways. And frankly, by this point, I was just fed up. So I just went with it, and I'm like, it's fine. So I went ahead and sponged all the Pool Party on to get my sky going. And then I wanted to come in and basically shore up the lines for the road and kind of just get an idea of where the slug bug will go. Now you can see the slug bug's already finished. I colored it multitudes of colors with my Copic markers. And then there's a little bitty peace sign that's in the Beautiful Ride stamp set. It's smushed in between the word love. So I cut apart the word love just so I could get that tiny peace sign out. And I used the little bitty peace sign to stamp all over the slug bug. Now I'm using one of my Statler pigment ink pens to add my lines in for my road. And then I'm just erasing all of my pencil lines. Now, this card is supposed to be fun and kind of whimsy. And so I wasn't super concerned with the lines for the road being really straight or matching up perfectly. I mean, this just wasn't the style I was going for. So the road turned out great. And then I just added some dashed lines. And then as you can see, I'm trying to figure out how I want to place my bug. And so it just looks like it's traveling on down the road. And I love the way that part turned out. Actually, I love the way this whole card ended up turning out, but it was definitely crazy getting it there. So I'm just adding dimensionals to the back of this slug bug, and then I'm going to remove the release backing paper from the dimensionals and add that to my little road there. And I play with it again just a little bit, trying to decide exactly how I want it. And then I realized I needed to sponge a little bit of green on the bottom, make it kind of look like grass. So I used Cucumber Crush for that. And then certainly I had to add details, right? So I came in and I found this great stamp image from BYOP, which is a great stamp set if you don't have it. It's so awesome. And this just says, "Congrats, Grad." And I loved that the grad part is an outline image with some shadowing, which was perfect for what I was going to do. So I wanted to make this look like a sign that was on the road as the car was driving. I'm making this card for my cousin Kelsey, who is graduating high school, and she was accepted and has declared her college as Long Beach, CSU Long Beach. So I wanted to do a really fun car that kind of looked like it was heading to the beach, and just a fun, sunny background. And then I'll color in that grad sign here in a minute so you can see how I kind of tie it in better to the card. So I'm just going to add some foam adhesive onto the back of this panel and then add it to the front of my card. So the card base is cut at 8 inches by 6 1/4 and then scored at 4 inches to make a 4-inch by 6 1/4 inch card. So I went and grabbed a few Copics, and I decided that the road needed a little bit of color. So I just used my I think this is the C5 marker, and I'm just kind of adding some gray to the road just to give it some dimension and color. And I don't know, I didn't like it white, so I definitely knew I needed to add that. So I'm taking the same I think this is C5, and adding it to this post, and then I'm going in with, that was C3, I'm sorry, this is C5 and then C7, and I'm going in and just going to blend this out, and I'm making it darker up underneath the sign so that you can see the shadow right under the sign, which is how it would be. And then going back in with that marker, the lightest marker, and blending all of those out together. Then I decided I wanted to tie the sign into the car. So I did that by adding color to the letters. Sorry that my dog's barking. Anyway, so I'm adding color to each of the letters to kind of tie the car into the letters and make a match. And I felt like that would pull the card together a little bit more. And I really am happy I did that because I feel like it really finished off the card nice. So I'm sorry if you can still hear all the racket in the background. My windows are open. It's 90 degrees here in California, so it's hot, and the windows are open so you can hear everything happening outside. So I'm sorry about that. So anyway, I'm just going in and continuing to add one color from each of the little panels of the car and just trying to pull all of that in together. When I'm done with that, I'm pretty much done with the card. And then I realized, you know what? I need a little tiny bit of a shadow under the sign itself. So I went ahead and I grabbed my lightest gray that I was using earlier, my C5, and I just went underneath really close to the sign and on the side, because the sun would be coming from, let's see, if you're looking at it, it's coming from the right side. So I wanted the shadow to fall to the left underneath so that it looked like there was a shadow there. So that's how the card ended up. I have 3 graduates this year, so I made this one as well. And this has a whole nother story to it. You can read about it on my blog. And you can look at my other card too over on my blog at loveandstampin.com. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you want to watch more videos, you can click on either one of these images and you'll be taken there. I hope you subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Thanks. Bye-bye.